What up, peeps? Welcome to another pickup video. So if you've been subscribed to the channel for a while, I'm sure you guys understand kind of how we do these things. So this video is going to be extremely long. Definitely grab a snack or put this on in the background while you're doing something. This is, for anyone who is new, this is basically everything that I have added to my personal collection since the last pickup video that I put up on YouTube. So basically, you guys see me picking stuff up all the time in the vlogs, and it gets added to my collection spreadsheet so I can keep track of everything. Then it gets put here in the back of the game room, and it just sits here until I film a new video. Once the video is filmed, that's when I put stuff away, put games on the shelf, stuff like that. So there's a ton of games around me here. Like I said, this video is going to be extremely long. So I also don't technically like save the best for last in these videos. I kind of just show you system by system. So there's going to be good stuff all throughout, so definitely make sure that you watch the whole thing if you want to see all the cool stuff. So first, we have a couple like promotional pins or buttons. I've kind of been getting a little bit more into collecting these, and I have, you can't see it of course, but over there on the wall I've got like a little, it's almost like a wooden frame that has like a burlap backing, and I keep all my pins in that. It's actually too small, I can't fit them all now, but two of them that I added to the collection. We have one for Space Station Silicon Valley for the Nintendo 64. I know it doesn't really want to focus, but there it is. The other one is for Ready to Rumble Boxing, and this one's kind of cool because it's not currently working, but it has like a sound function. Its button doesn't work. The battery inside is dead, which I'm assuming I could replace, but I don't really feel the need to. It's, you know, more of just a display piece anyway. But got both of those. I'm pretty sure I just picked these up off of eBay, and honestly I don't remember what I paid. But I typically won't pay a lot for these things. I think they're really cool, but I don't want to pay too much, so I probably didn't pay, you know, that much. Next, I finally got the Pikachu Pokemon watch that completes my boxed Pikachu Nintendo 64 console. This is the only piece that I was missing. I might be missing like a couple baggies or something like that, but as far as all of the actual components that are supposed to come in it, this is what I was missing. This is the exact color that it shows on my box. I know there are different like color variations of this watch, but there it is. And I got this from someone in a Facebook group. They posted up asking, I can't remember what they were asking, but they posted it up asking, I think, what it was. And I messaged them and I was like, hey, that goes to the Pikachu N64 console, and I actually need that to complete my set. Do you want to sell it? And he's like, yeah. And I think he said $12 shipped. And I was like, yeah, that sounds great. I think that they go for a bit more than that, but I was very happy to be able to complete that set. So next we have the Animal Crossing Bell bag, which I don't think this was a pre-order bonus, but I think this was something you could like buy from Best Buy. I think it was like $5 or something. I don't really remember. We didn't buy it ourselves new. We got it somewhere. I don't remember. And then I have this. And this this is the little banana that comes with the My Friend Pedro special edition game for the Switch, which I have in here as well, you'll see, but it came bubble wrapped like this, and I don't really have anywhere to put this in the game room, so I figured I would just keep it with the bubble wrap. Next up, we have a factory sealed DS Lite wall charger, official Nintendo brand. Got that from John when I bought his collection. Some of this stuff was included. And then also from him for the PSP, we have sealed AV cables and component AV cables. Both official Sony brand. Not the most exciting thing, but they're sealed official accessories, so I always keep that kind of stuff whenever I find it. Next, as you can tell, I'm going through like the weird stuff, the accessories. We'll get to the games after. We have the neon purple and neon orange Joy-Cons. And then we have a Tempest 2000 soundtrack for the Atari Jaguar version of the game. That is factory sealed. Then we have the Legend of Zelda Minish Cap or hat. we got this. I'm not going to put it on because we got this from someone, and, you know, I don't think that they have lice, but you can't really be too careful when it comes to stuff like that. And you guys see my gorgeous locks. I don't want to have to cut these off. And then we have the Moogle Final Fantasy desk clock. We actually are carrying these at the store. So when we have 2 of them, but I bought 3 of them because I wanted one for myself. So decided to hold on to that. Then this is the box and paperwork only for the red Game Boy Pocket system. So it's just missing the console and the baggie for the console, but it's kind of like pushed in on the front as well. I don't know if you can see that on camera. But I don't have this one yet, so I can find a system anywhere to complete it, but I actually don't even remember where that came from. Next, this was a gift, and this is the Super Mario Brothers Party Centerpiece, which it's basically like a paper little display thing that you might put like in the middle of a table at a kid's birthday party or something. This is brand new from 1989. This thing is older than I am, which it's cool that it still exists. It's got a $1 price tag right there, which is really cool. So there's that. And then I think that's it for all of the like accessories and weird stuff. But I do have some consoles here, so I'm going to show you all the consoles, then we'll get to all the games. So we have the Mario Kart Red original DS. And I believe that the only thing this is missing is like the little wrist strap charm thing that originally comes on the system, which it shows it right there in the bottom corner. That's the only thing it's missing. It's got the baggie for the console, it's got the paperwork, it's got the game, it's got all that stuff. So we've had plenty of these consoles at the store, and most of them have had the wrist strap, so I'm not really worried about being able to find one, because I think we've had like 3 or 4 of them just in the past couple years. So eventually I'll get that to complete it, but I think that is a super cool bundle. And you guys know I love getting all the different bundles and like box variants and stuff like that for the consoles. So that's what I love about collecting the original boxes for like the handhelds and stuff, because they released them in so many different colors. I've got a lot of them right over there. And, you know, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, DS, 3DS, all those. I love going after all the different box variants and different colored systems and versions and stuff like that. So that's super cool. Recent addition here, we have the white PSP Go, and this is factory sealed. I bought this from Mookjinder. He was selling some of his collection because he's in the process of moving, so that came from him along with these next 2. We have the very first model PlayStation Vita, which is also factory sealed. Comes bundled with little deviants. It's the 3G Wi-Fi version, but yeah, to get that sealed I think is really cool. We only had one Vita in the collection before that one, and it's just some random bundle that we bought at a game store in Oregon. We don't really go after Vita stuff too often, but if we get like a really rare game or we get something like that, we have to hold on to it. The coolest one that I got from him, in my opinion, is the Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker Big Boss Pack, which is also factory sealed. And this is a limited edition console that comes bundled with the game. You can see it on the back there. It's like a camouflage version. And it also came with the pre-order bonuses here, which I think that these are like handkerchief type things, bandanas, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, that one is sealed as well. Very, very cool. Next up, we have the pink Nintendo Switch Lite, the coral version. And Abby pre-ordered this one because she really wanted this color, but she also thought that it might be kind of hard to find. And it looks like it might be. It's one of the more uncommon colors that you see for the lights, so it's pretty cool. And then, I don't remember if I showed this in the last pickup video or not, so I'm just going to show it again because it's sitting here. But that is the Skylanders white Wii U bundle. missing a couple things, missing, I think, one or two of the Skylanders, and I'm missing, like, the cards and stickers for the Skylanders, but other than that, it's all in there. I might have showed that before, I don't know, it's been sitting here. But my favorite console that I got out of all of the ones to show in this video is a factory-sealed limited edition dual-color Platinum and Onyx Game Boy Advance SP AGS 101. What a mouthful. But this one's really cool because it comes in this blister pack, which I think that a lot of them didn't come in blister packs, they just come in the regular cardboard boxes, but this is all official. This is not like a Costco bundle or anything like that. This is, you know, officially how this one comes. And what's really cool is that I got this through a Facebook group, and another store owner posted it asking if anyone knew like a value for it. I guess he was trying to price it for his store, and everyone can only guess because I mean, as far as I can tell, there are none that have sold on eBay recently. There's none posted. Even complete in box. So not even talking about sealed with the blister pack, just a boxed version of this exact system. You can't find one right now. So it's kind of hard to determine a value, but regular, non-special edition SPs are selling for like a few $100. And that's about what I paid for this one. So I think that I got a pretty good price on it. And yeah, I just think it's really cool to get it in the blister pack like that. I love consoles and accessories and stuff that are sealed in blister packs like that. They don't really do it too much anymore, but like a lot of the N64 stuff came like that, a lot of the GameCube ones, and it's harder to find that kind of stuff in good condition compared to like cardboard boxes, because this plastic, you know, if it experiences like certain temperatures or sunlight or whatever, it can get very brittle and it cracks and it turns yellow. So finding it in really good shape is much harder than boxes, which, you know, the only way to get this packaging is to get it brand new, because no one's going to open this and keep the packaging. It's all thrown away, so I don't know. I like finding stuff like that. I think it's pretty cool. So that is all of the consoles, the accessories, the random stuff. So the rest of everything I have to show you guys are games or boxes, manuals, stuff like that. So in no particular order, I'm just going to pick off the top here. We're going to start with Wii U. And as you guys know, I have a complete North American Wii U library. I'm just missing certain variants and a couple different special editions, but I have the regular versions and stuff like that. These are 3 games that I already had, but I only had opened copies, so when I came across sealed copies, I decided to hold on to them. So we have Cars 3, which is a surprisingly fantastic game. We have Bayonetta 2, and this is the version that does not come with the first game. This is just the second game. And then also Rayman Legends, which has these horrible Fred Meyer stickers, which they put these on all their games, but these basically do not come off. They are like security stickers, so they have like the little metal thing that goes like that underneath it. And I mean, you can get it off, but it's not worth it. So I've kind of mentioned before that I have thought about going after a factory sealed Wii U collection as well. I've got complete copies of most of them. Some of them I only have sealed, so I want to get complete copies of those. But because I was collecting the Wii U when it was still current, I have a lot of the games sealed already, and it's not something that I would ever care to really focus on. But when I find games like this, like sometimes they get traded into the store or whatever it is, I'll hold on to them. And you know, who knows? I don't even know how close I am for a sealed set. I don't really care too much. I just think it'd be kind of a cool thing because it's easy to find them. I think there's only a couple games, if you don't count variants or special editions, there's only a couple games that are even hard to find at all. So going for a sealed set I don't think would be that difficult. So I'll just passively get them here and there. So I believe I only have one NES game this time, which is kind of surprising. I typically don't get a ton of NES games, but usually more than one. And this is actually just a condition upgrade as well, but that is the first Ninja Turtles game. This box, as you can tell, is in pretty good condition. My previous copy, the box was horribly crushed. It had creases on all the sides. So this is a very nice upgrade for mine. And then we actually have some Atari stuff here as well, which I don't normally add Atari games to the collection. I do collect for all the Atari consoles. aside from the computer ones, but it's not something that I ever focus on, and even if we get complete in-box games traded into the store that I don't have, I don't even worry about keeping them unless there's something that's really hard to find. So we don't have anything too special here, but we have one Atari 2600 game, that's Pole Position. The only reason I kept it is because it's factory sealed. And finding a lot of Atari games factory sealed is not uncommon. They produce a ton of games, that's why they kind of crashed the video game market, because they just overproduced everything, pumped out games left and right. So finding these games sealed is not super special. For, certain titles it is, but for most of them, they're still pretty common. But, why not hold on to it? But the other ones here I think are kind of cool. These are all Atari Lynx games, and I showed these pretty recently. So these games are not hard to find sealed either, but they are Lynx games, which I don't even know where my Lynx collection is. I have like 3 games, so this is this is like tripling my Lynx collection right here. And these are all factory sealed. We have Zybots, and then Crystal Mines 2, Tournament Cyberball. Is that like a hair or something? Kung Food. And then this one I thought was pretty cool because this is in like a little blister pack, and that is Steel Talons. So that's all the Atari stuff. Let's go for PSP. I might bump the camera here because these are kind of behind one of the legs. So PSP is another system that I don't really focus on too much. I just kind of grab games here and there that I think are kind of uncommon or that I haven't seen before. So we have Lemmings, a sealed copy of Pac-Man World 3. Found this at John's store down in Grants Pass, Oregon, and it was like $8, that's why we got it. Frantics, a puzzle adventure. Abby picked that one out. Then we have Rengoku, the Tower of Purgatory. This one actually is a little expensive, and that's Dragon Ball Z Tenkaichi Tag Team. I think currently this is going for like $60, $65, which is crazy for a PSP game that is not like some weird RPG. I'm not super big into PSP collecting, so I don't know like what the rarest games are, but I mean, even most RPGs, you can get them for like $10, $15, so that one was really surprising to me. Then we have Fading Shadows. We have a factory sealed copy of The Bigs 2. Nothing special there. And then we have Shin Megami Tensei Persona. And then this one I think is really, really cool. This is Shin Megami Tensei Persona 2 Innocent Sin. And this is the box version that has a soundtrack with it. So I thought that was really, really cool. This has been sitting back here for a long time. I picked this up quite a long time ago. And oh, this is factory sealed. I probably knew that. I probably have it in my spreadsheet as sealed, but it's been sitting back here for months, so I just forgot about it. But yeah, very cool. I only have 2 original Xbox games here. We have Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Chaos Bleeds. I feel like I said that really weird. And then Driver Parallel Lines Limited Edition. I was very happy to get this one. The box is all jacked up. You can see it's like ripped and there's like packing tape and stuff. But found this for $15 at one of the game stores in Arizona when we took our trip down there. And I saw it right before John, and he definitely would have gotten it, but I saw it first, so I had dibs. But I think that's super cool. I didn't even know that this existed until I watched the Pixel Game Squad video where they went to Stefan's house. Stefan is a friend of mine, so it was really cool to watch that. But he gave one of those to Gabo. And so I was like, oh, I've never seen that before. I need to look out for that one. And so from then on, I've been keeping my eye out, and I was really glad that I spotted that one. Alright, let's move on to Nintendo Switch games. There are a lot of them here. So, we have Divinity 2 Original Sin Definitive Edition from Limited Run, 2064 Read-Only Memories Integral, and VA11 Val A Cyberpunk Bartender Action. Someone told me that I should play this game, and they said that it was like one of their favorites. And I checked out gameplay, and it doesn't really seem like my type of game. but still cool. And then we have the Super Mario Party with the Joy-Cons. This is, well, most of these Switch games are going to be factory sealed, so instead of telling you which ones are sealed, I'll just tell you which ones are opened, because all those so far have been sealed. Then we have the Splatoon 2 and Mario Odyssey, like, little bundles here that come with the mini strategy guides, which is pretty cool. A lot of these are coming from Mookjinder. Well, not a lot of them, but a few of them are. We have Trine 4. This one is opened. And then we have Bendy and the Ink Machine. And then Darksiders Genesis. Killer Queen Black. And then an opened copy of Close to the Sun. And then Code of Princess EX, that one is also opened. Cooking Mama Cookstar, I'm sure you guys remember that whole thing. Children of Morta. And then an opened copy of Sonic Mania Plus. And then Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX. And Minecraft Season 2 Story Mode. And then Raging Loop Day 1 Edition. This one, the outer box, okay, so this is opened. Opened copy. I was going to say, the outer box is not sealed. The game inside is not sealed either, so definitely an opened one. And then we have Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair. Ice Age Scrat's Nutty Adventure. An opened copy of just your standard Minecraft. Everspace Stellar Edition. My Friend Pedro. It's a regular one. And this isn't a game, but I have the Steelbook for Super Smash Bros. Then we have Donut County, which is still sealed. And I guess for anyone who is watching at this point of the vlog, you get a little bit of special ahead of time info here. I have been talking with I Am 8-Bit, which is the company that released this game. They also did Sayonara Wild Hearts and Gogora. So they released all these games on the Switch. And I've been talking to them, and I now have a wholesale account with them, and we are going to be carrying their Switch releases in store, which I think is really, really cool. We don't purchase new games from anyone. And so this, it is something that I want to do. It's just, typically, it's really scary for me because the profit is not that much at all. And if you buy even, one extra copy that doesn't sell, you could lose your profit for the entire order sometimes. So the reason that I wanted to get a wholesale account with I Am 8-Bit is because their games are a little bit more limited, and I feel like they're almost guaranteed to sell. And if they don't sell, they should only go up in value, you know what I mean? If I buy the new Assassin's Creed for PS4 and we don't sell it in 2 months, it's now worth half price. That's not going to happen with these I Am 8-Bit Switch releases. So for anyone watching at this part of the video, leave a comment down below and let me know that you heard this part, and let me know if you're excited about that. We are going to be carrying some of their PS4 games as well. I think the first Switch game that we are going to be getting in stock from them is What the Golf. And unfortunately, we cannot order the limited edition versions. Well, I can order them personally, we just can't order them at a wholesale cost. They will only sell standard release versions to stores. But still, I think it's very, very cool, and I'm excited about that. I hope you guys are as well. So continuing on with the Switch games, we have Umihara Kawase Fresh. That's an opened one. Then we have Hell Warders. Got this one off of Amazon. I think Tom sent me the listing, and it was marked down to like $10 or something with like free shipping. Then we have Atelier Ryza Ever Darkness and the Secret Hideout limited edition from NIS America. And then we have the special edition My Friend Pedro. These are numbered down here. Mine's number 3,533 out of 5,000, which is kind of cool. And then we have Disgaea 4 Complete Special Edition, also from NIS America. And then the last two Switch games here, we have Shantae and the Pirate's Curse Collector's Edition from Limited Run. Got this in a trade from Nathan, so thank you, Nathan, for that. That's one of the limited run special editions that has gone way up in price, and I was glad to be able to grab that one through a trade. And then the last Switch game is the Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Works set. And Abby pre-ordered this one. She was a big fan of the Xenoblade series, and so she opened this one. I think she does have plans to play it, so that is super cool. I'm going to try to slip this right down here, keep it out of the way. Alright, let's go to TurboGrafx. Don't typically add a lot of Turbo games to the collection, but I did finally get a cartridge for Air Zonk, which I showed you guys when I picked it up. Sorry about the not wanting to focus thing. But I have had the case and manual, the case, the manual, and the box for this game for a couple years, or a few years even, and finally was able to find a decent price on a cartridge. Anytime we went to stores, if they had Turbo games, I'd always look for this one, and I feel like I have seen it a couple times, but it's always been too much. And I think right now, or I guess a couple weeks ago when I bought it, I think a card, whatever you want to call it, I think a game-only version was like $150, and I found this on another store's website for, I think it was $114.99, so it wasn't like a crazy steal, but it was still a price that I was comfortable with paying, and I was really happy to finally be able to complete that box. And then the only other Turbo game, well, I got another one of these, just a little thing. I'm sure some of mine are missing it, so whenever I get extras of those, I'm going to hold on to them. Then the other game is Complete in Case Blazing Lasers. And I picked this one up from another website kind of recently, and a lot of people were asking if I was going to keep it or not. And I am keeping it, obviously, but very cool. So, what do you guys want to see next? Let's do GameCube. So, as you guys may know, GameCube is the system that I am currently focusing on trying to complete the set. Well, GameCube and Virtual Boy. Virtual Boy I will probably complete before GameCube, because I only need 2 more Virtual Boy games. But GameCube, I still need a couple hundred games, but most of them are filler titles. Most of them are $5, $10 games. There's only a couple that are still expensive that I need, and I don't want to spend $10 to $15 per filler title. GameCube stuff is so expensive right now. Even your random games like Finding Nemo and Tony Hawk and stuff like that, even those games are like $10 to $15 each. And so my plan with GameCube stuff is to try to track down the games that are actually hard to find or that are more expensive and rare and seek those ones out individually. But when it comes to the filler titles, I'm just going to wait for stuff to get traded into the store and just keep whichever games I don't have until the set's done. I think last time I looked, I don't even think it was a couple hundred. I think I needed something like 130, 140 games. So it's not too many. But I would like to complete that set and also Virtual Boy. And then I'm really thinking about focusing on original Xbox and Dreamcast. I think that'd be kind of cool. So, in no particular order here for the GameCube, we have NFL Street 2, WTA Tour Tennis, which was like a $10 game 3 months ago. Now it's like over $100. But I got this. Well, I actually got 2 copies. I got this one in a trade from Nathan, and then the other copy I found on another game store's website. I can't remember what it was, for like $8, and they're both complete. So I picked the best of the 2 and combined them. Then we have Worms Blast. I love the Worms games. I'm always surprised that the Worms games, aside from Worms Armageddon, most of the Worms games are pretty cheap, but they're really fun multiplayer games. Then we have Monsters Inc. Scream Arena, Puyo Pop Fever, Trigger Man, WWE Crush Hour, Legend of Zelda 4 Swords Adventures. I know this seems kind of weird that I wouldn't have this. I I have the big box version with the cable. I didn't have a regular one, so I like to have one of each when it comes to stuff like that. And then we have a Super Mario Sunshine, but this is the not for resale variant. And then finally, Mario Party 6. Another one that seems kind of weird, but I only had the big box one, so I needed a regular one. So, that's it for GameCube. Let's move on to, let's just continue on and go to Wii, because I only have 3 games. We have a sealed copy of Neopets Puzzle Adventure, and a sealed copy of Kirby's Epic Yarn. Nothing too special, but this is really cool. This is a press kit, and this is the only press kit that I have in my entire collection. I believe this is the only press kit that I've ever even owned, and that is for the fantastic game Wii Ski. So this is the original box it came in. It's got the sticker there. The person's address was removed before I got it, so no worries there. I bought this from someone on a Facebook group. It was $25 plus shipping, which I thought was a fair price. I don't know what these go for. I don't think there is a going rate for something like this. But inside, you get like this little pass. There's some paperwork. There's some hot cocoa mix. And then in this box is like a travel mug, like a metal travel mug. But yeah, I just thought this was really cool. And I mean, for 25 bucks plus shipping, it ended up being like $33 or something. I could not pass that up. It's just too cool. And maybe that's even more than what it's worth, but 25 bucks is not too much money, and I thought to get a press kit, I don't care what game it's for, it's worth it for that. So I'm very happy to add that to the collection. I think that is super, super cool. So let's move on to Sega stuff. I don't have a ton, so typically what I do with Sega is I stack it all together instead of having separate stacks, unless I have a bunch of one thing, but I have one Genesis game. That's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie. This is the version that has like the holographic cover, which is like a variant. So there's that. And then one Sega CD game. We have Soul Star. And then also one Sega Saturn game. That is the House of the Dead. Very happy to get that one. Then I have a manual, and this was the only manual that I did not have for the games or the boxes that I have for this collection. That's a manual for Doom for the 32X. I already have the box and cartridge, I just didn't have the manual, so I picked this up off of eBay for just a couple bucks. And now every 32X box that I have has a manual. They don't all have cartridges, as you're about to see, but they all have manuals now, so it's nice to not be missing any. So I have a bunch of 32X boxes and manuals here. I think maybe one or two of these have the cartridge, but I don't remember for sure. These got traded into the store a while back, and some of them I already had, so I was able to upgrade condition. Some of them I didn't have at all, and I just need to track down cartridges now, which it's not a big deal. The boxes and manuals are obviously the harder part to find. So we have NFL Quarterback Club, Metalhead, Star Wars Arcade, Star Trek Starfleet Academy. And that one, that Star Trek one, was another one that I had it in my collection before, but I didn't have a manual. So getting this one, now I have it complete, which is awesome. Virtua Fighter, Cosmic Carnage, T-Mech, Mortal Kombat 2. There's Doom, which is just a box upgrade, I believe. NBA Jam, Tournament Edition. Afterburner. Virtua Racing. Tough Man Contest. And then the last 32X one is RBI Baseball 95. So, I believe that the 32X library is not that big. So that's one system that I don't really focus on, but whenever we go to conventions or whatever, if I see like some 32X boxes, I usually take a look. I'm really glad I picked up Knuckles Chaotix at PRGE a few years ago, because that one has definitely gone up in price. I don't have Spider-Man Web of Fire, but you know, I'm always on the lookout. Next, let's take a look at Virtual Boy. I have 3 games here. These are all new additions to the collection. These are not condition upgrades or anything like that. So these were all games I did not have. First one is a sealed copy of Taro Boxer. I didn't have a copy at all, and so I was looking at purchasing one, and this sealed one was listed for $60, and it's in really, really nice condition. That was on eBay. And $60, I think that's about what they go for, but I was happy just to get one that's like really, really nice. And then we have Panic Bomber. And the last one is Waterworld. And this box is in really, really nice condition. So Panic Bomber and Waterworld, if you guys don't remember, I won these in a Facebook auction from another game store. Very, very weird, but luckily I'm in the Facebook business owners group, and one of the business owners in there posted that they were doing this auction for one of their customers. This was their customer's collection, and instead of just selling it to the store agreed to auction it off on their Facebook. And so I was watching it, and I bid on more than just these, but these were the two that I wanted. I lost on the Taro Boxer, which is why I had to get that one. And then I was trying to help Ryan win a 3D Tetris, which unfortunately we got outbid on. So very, very happy with those. And I got pretty good price on Waterworld. I paid pretty close to what Panic Bomber is worth, but the deal that I got on Waterworld made it really, really nice overall. So now the only two Virtual Boy games I need for the full North American set are Nestor's Funky Bowling and, of course, Jack Bros, which who knows if I'll ever find one of those. So we do have some more Sega stuff here. I forgot I had them separate. We have some Dreamcast games. And like I said, I've been kind of thinking about maybe going after this set a little bit. So got some stuff here. I'm not keeping like every Dreamcast game I don't have, but anything that's harder to find, I'm holding on to. We have Arrow Wings 2 Airstrike. And then we have The Typing of the Dead. We have Elemental Gimmick Gear. And then we have Techromancer. And finally, we have Project Justice. So, some of those I got on our trip down to Arizona. Some of them I got from other stores' websites. But overall, I'm very happy with that little stack of Dreamcast games. That's pretty good stuff. On to DS and 3DS. One, this is just a cartridge, but it's the Metroid Prime Hunters First Hunt demo, and this comes in a bundle with the original silver DS console, which I have, but I was missing this. So I still don't have the actual console. I just have the box and the paperwork and all that, and I have the case for this game in there as well, a little cardboard sleeve. The system is just your standard silver original DS, so I'm not really too worried about getting that, but and this is a super cheap and common demo cartridge to get too, so either way I'm happy with that. Just need to grab a system just whenever one comes into the store, not a big deal. Then we have The Legend of Legacy for the 3DS. This is the collector's edition, still sealed here. Comes with an art book and a soundtrack. Super cool. And then the only other original DS game we have is a sealed copy of Cooking Mama. Nothing too special. And you guys probably noticed I get a lot of factory sealed games, and it's not because I really care about getting factory sealed games, because I honestly don't. I'm fine with complete copies. But when it comes to systems like the DS, the 3DS, the Wii, you know, these are systems that I don't really focus on grabbing games for. The only time I keep them is if I happen to get a sealed copy. So, you know, I could potentially be showing you a stack of 30 DS games that got traded into the store that I didn't have in my collection. The problem is, I don't really care about keeping all that kind of stuff because I'm not focusing on collecting for the DS. If I do keep a game, it's either going to be a rare, hard-to-find game, or it's just going to be some random sealed game because we got it for a good deal. So, I don't necessarily care about getting factory sealed games, but I'm not going to, especially for something like Cooking Mama, it's not worth very much. I'd rather just hold on to it than sell it for like $10. So that's why you're seeing a lot of factory sealed games. When it comes to the systems that I'm focusing on, like GameCube and stuff like that, obviously you notice that they're all opened. So all these 3DS games are sealed. So we have, and these came from Some of them came from Mujender's collection. A couple of them I bought from Fred Meyer. Excuse me, my voice cracked. So we have Super Mario Maker for the 3DS, Fire Emblem Warriors, Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valentia, and I already have this game, but I only have the limited edition version, which I pre-ordered when it first came out. And then we have Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and I'm pretty sure that I picked these up from Fred Meyer. They were on clearance for like, what was it, like $10, $15, something like that. It was cheap, so grabbed one of each of those. And then let's move on to PlayStation 1. There's some pretty cool stuff in here. First up, not a game, but I got the map to complete my copy of Alundra. So this little map, this little weird textured paper map that is not that big, this thing is so hard to find, and this increases the price of a complete copy of the game from like $80 up to like $150 just for this, which is insane. I would never pay that. So I was very happy because I had a copy without the map in my collection, and then we got a complete one for the store with the map. So I just took the map for mine, and now we just have one missing the map, obviously, for the store, but very happy to get that out of the way. This game here actually just got today. I'm recording this on Tuesday, but you're seeing this hopefully on Saturday. So I got this in the mail. That is Wu-Tang Shaolin Style. Been looking for that one for a while. Glad to snag it from another game store's website. Then we have Gex. And then Felony 1179. Strikers 1945. Power Shovel. Nanotech Warrior. Grand Theft Auto The Director's Cut, which I had never seen before, so I wanted to grab it. WWF In Your House. A sealed copy of Civilization 2. Jersey Devil. And Blade. So as you can see with the PS1 stuff, this is a good example. I'm not focusing on my PS1 collection, but I do grab games here and there, especially if they're like uncommon, which the majority of the stuff in this stack is uncommon. A lot of these games I had never even heard of before, like Felony 1179 or Power Shovel or that Grand Theft Auto Director's Cut. I've never seen or heard of those games before, so when I come across them for a good price, I gotta pick them up. So next up, let's move on to Game Boy. Well, I was gonna say Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance, but I think the majority of these are Game Boy Advance. So first up, this is in horrible condition, but it is technically complete. So I'm gonna just hold on to this one till we find an upgrade. It's not a big deal though. It's a Strawberry Shortcake Volume 1 Game Boy Advance Video. As you can see, the whole box is just completely crushed. And my voice keeps cracking, I'm not sure why. Then we have the Pokemon for Ho-Oh, The Bells Toll, and a Hot Water Battle video. Then we have Nickelodeon All Grown Up, and SpongeBob SquarePants Volume 2, and Volume 1. Some of these have the plastic on them still. And then Shrek 2. I think this is just the entire movie. This is actually missing the headphones. I think it was missing the headphones. Yeah, it's missing the headphones, which I guess not really a big deal. And then Dora the Explorer Volume 1. Most of the Game Boy Advance videos are really, really cheap. You can still find a lot of them factory sealed on eBay for like $10 shipped, so I'm not really worried about the condition on those as much. And a lot of them don't even have cartridges. But, you know, whatever. Then we have a sealed copy of The Ripping Friends. And Abby actually wanted me to buy this one because we got a cartridge traded into the store and neither of us had ever heard of it before. And when looking on price charts, it looks like it sells maybe like, I think it was like once, like even just a complete copy sells like once a month or something like that. And so she was like, oh, you should get it. You should just get a sealed copy now because it might go up in the future. And we got that for like $8 on eBay. And turns out it is definitely not rare. It's just not wanted. The reason I know it's not rare is because we have a wholesale account with another company where we can buy brand new games. I have the account, I just haven't made an order with them. But they actually have that game that I can order brand new. And they have hundreds and hundreds of them in stock, so I know it's not too rare. So the majority of these Game Boy Advance games are nothing special. We just happen to get boxed copies, so I'm holding on to them. We have the Proud Family, Dogs Fashion, Ice Age, Monster Trucks, Dora's World Adventure, Dora the Explorer Pirate Pig's Treasure, Dora the Explorer Superstar Adventures. I think I have all the Dora games now. The Herbs, Sims in the City, Monsters Inc., Madden 2003, Franklin's Great Adventures, Golden Nugget Casino, and Corvette. So, the reason that I keep this kind of stuff is because I know in the future I will be focusing on these collections. I'm going for complete sets for all the systems that I collect for. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's not like I'm trying to complete all these sets all at the same time. I kind of just focus on one or two here and there, and then just grab other games from other systems, as I find good deals. But when it comes to Nintendo stuff that comes in cardboard boxes, if I don't have it and we happen to get one, I will keep it. And that's why you're seeing like Madden 2003 for the Game Boy Advance. Not a game that I care about, but I know in the future I'll be going for a complete Game Boy Advance collection, and it's just nice to knock these games off the list when I can, like this, because they're, we get them super cheap, and I wouldn't want to have to go on eBay and buy a complete Madden 2003 for the Game Boy Advance in 10 years. So I just grab them as I see them. So the last four here are a little bit better. We have Simpsons Road Rage. And then for the Game Boy Color, we have Donkey Kong Country. And then, just got this on our trip for Game Boy Advance, we have Medabots Metabee. Got that one for a pretty good price. And then this one, probably the rarest and probably the most expensive game out of this entire video. And that is Ninja Taro for the original Game Boy. And I got this off of another game store's website for like $175. And at the time of purchasing it, I just thought, oh, that seems like a pretty good price. The reason I bought it is because on price charts, there was only one complete in box copy sold, according to price charts, since they have started tracking it. And typically price charts goes back to like 2012, 2011. So, with there only being one sold copy, that tells me that it's pretty rare. And that copy sold for $175. But that was years ago. So after getting this in the mail and seeing that it's in really, really nice condition, really happy with that, I went on to Game Value Now because we typically just use price charts, but I do know that Game Value Now sometimes has different data. So after going on there, they actually had, I think, 3 or 4 boxed copies that they have data for, and the average price was something like $500. So, for $175, I got a very nice condition copy of this $500 game, which I had never even heard of. But this is another thing where, I'm not focusing on original Game Boy, but I know that I will in the future. And if I find a $500 game for $175, I better pick it up when I see it, because chances are, in 10 years or whenever it is when I'm actually focusing on Game Boy, this game will be impossible to find. And a lot of Game Boy games are like that already, where you just cannot find boxed copies. And a lot of times the cartridge will be like $30 or $40, but then the complete in box one will be $1,000. It's crazy. So I'm very, very glad that I was able to grab that and, knock it off the list, because I couldn't imagine trying to track one down when I actually needed that particular game. So I think all that we have left is PS2 and Nintendo 64. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys N64 first. Usually I try to save N64 for last just because it's my favorite system. But we have way more we have Super Nintendo as well, sorry. But PS2 is the biggest bundle of stuff I have to show you here, and I think the best quality. So I'm actually going to show you guys N64, then Super Nintendo, and then we'll do the PS2. So, I'll clear a little bit of room here. So, you guys know, I completed the North American N64 set of boxes. Still needed a few manuals, still need a few cartridges, but there's some cool stuff in here. So, first up, I think it's just 3, let me double check. Yeah, 3 manuals that we needed. We have WCW Nitro, which was very generously donated by one of you guys, so thank you so much. I'm sorry that I don't remember your name, but we had quite a few people message us, and they were like, hey, you know, I think I mentioned this particular manual, and we had like 3 people contact us saying that they had one, which was super, super awesome, and I appreciate that. But someone just sent it before contacting us, and then, you know, whenever, like, we don't like taking donations. It feels wrong because we have the store. If we were just making YouTube videos and we didn't have our store and we didn't sell video games, it wouldn't feel as wrong. But the fact that, like, we support ourselves, we support, you know, we pay our bills and we feed ourselves by selling video games, it feels wrong to accept donations of video games. So whenever people try to send us stuff, we typically will try to pay them at least something or turn it into a trade or something like that. And I don't recall if we ended up like paying for shipping or something, but at the very least, that's what we like to do. So while I, of course, appreciate anything that anyone has ever given me, I do feel kind of bad about it. And, you know, I don't think I need to explain that, but I kind of just feel the need to. But obviously, thank you so much to anyone who ever decides to donate us anything. You know, it's definitely not needed. We don't need you guys to donate stuff to us. If I'm looking for something and you have it, I will buy it from you. I will not ask you to give it to me for free, of course. But, of course, thank you either way. 2 other manuals here. We have International Superstar Soccer 98 and Rampage 2 Universal Tour. This one's kind of weird because I already had the manual, but I have a box variant for it, so I needed the manual for my other box. And then these are just going to be condition upgrades. We have WWF Warzone, just a box upgrade. That one's really, really nice. And then Blues Brothers 2000. So I actually just needed the manual from this one as well, and I believe the same person that sent the WCW Nitro manual ended up sending this, plus a bunch of cartridges. And I only needed the manual, but they sent me a complete copy, and I was confused at first, and then I went to check my spreadsheet, and my original box for this is crushed. It's really, really bad. So they must have seen that and decided to donate a box as well, which is extremely thoughtful, and I definitely appreciate it. That's a box that I probably would have wanted to upgrade in the future anyway, so this copy is very, very nice, and it is a nice upgrade for my previous one, so thank you so much. We have 2 factory sealed games here. I got these both really cheap. That's the only reason I grabbed them. We have Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. It's got a big rip on the front here, as you can see, but this was like $30. And other than that rip, it's not that bad. And I think a sealed copy of this goes for like $60, $70, something around there. So for $30, I couldn't pass it up, even with the rip. You know, like I said, I don't really care too much about sealed games. I do enjoy having them, but I prefer complete in-box copies. But since I've already finished the N64 set, for the most part, if I want to keep collecting for it, I have to get some sealed games here and there, and I'm not going to go out of my way to get them. I'm not going to pay retail for any of them, but when I find them for good deals, I'm going to grab them. And if I really cared, I wouldn't have bought it because it has a gigantic rip, but I still think it's really, really cool. And then the other one is Shadow Man, sealed copy, and got this one recently. You guys probably already heard the story, but another game store had 7 of these listed as just complete, and so they were priced as complete copies, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And so I bought them. Then the guy emailed me and said, hey, they're actually sealed, but the boxes are warped. And the box is not in good condition. I don't know if you can see it. The box is like pushed in. It's all warped like that. The back is pushed in. The top is pushed in. But it is sealed, and it was cheap. A average condition sealed copy of this goes for about $80, and I got this for like $28, I think it was, and actually bought an extra one, and we already sold it for $50. So I think that was a pretty good price. I'm happy with that. And then we have some cartridges here. Like I said, a lot of these were donated, so if you donated one of these, thank you guys so much. Please understand that I am never asking for donations. You do not have to donate, but if you did, thank you so much. So we have NBA Jam 2000, the Player's Choice Mario Kart 64. I have a first release version complete, but I had a Player's Choice version without the cartridge, so when I saw this really, really nice one, I decided to grab it. We have WCW NWO Revenge, WWF Attitude, Magical Tetris Challenge, Monaco Grand Prix, NBA Jam 99, Roadsters, Wheel of Fortune, Spider-Man 64, and Fighter's Destiny 2. So I don't know exactly how many more cartridges and or manuals I need. I might have all the manuals now. I don't remember for sure. There might be one or two more, but they're all cheap. The cartridges I need are also all cheap. So I should be down to like under 5 left. I'm not 100% sure, but getting very, very close. Obviously, the boxes and manuals are the hard parts to find for stuff like N64, so I wasn't really too concerned about getting all the cartridges right up front, and the majority of the ones I needed were stuff like this that are primarily cheaper. And then one other condition upgrade here that I didn't see is Ready to Rumble Boxing, and this box is in pretty good condition, so I don't remember what my other one looked like, but if I have this one here, it was obviously an upgrade. Alright, so on to Super Nintendo. I'm pretty happy with the Super Nintendo games that I have gotten here for the collection. So first up is a not-for-resale version of Ken Griffey Jr.'s Winning Run. Got this at one of the game stores in Arizona, and I paid full retail for this. It only goes for like $20-25, and I paid $19.99 for it. But I like getting stuff in person. The fact that I could buy this on eBay for $20 whenever I want doesn't make me want to buy it. But when I see it in person, even if it's the same price, that's when I want it, because I like to find stuff in person. It's way more fun than hunting online, so I'm very happy to have picked that one up. Then we have Cannondale Cup. This one is box and cartridge only, but I have purchased a manual off of eBay already without realizing that we already had one at the store. And so I could have kept the one that we have at the store, but I didn't know. At least the one that I bought off eBay appears to be in better condition than the one that we have at the store, so I'm happy, I guess, either way. And then we have Aero the Acrobat 2. Kind of a hard one to find. We have Nobunaga's Ambition. I believe this is missing a manual. And then we have Power Rangers, the movie. I think this one is box only. Then we have Maximum Carnage. And The Incredible Hulk. And then finally, we have Sparkster, which is a pretty hard to find game. And got this one on our trip down to Arizona. Got this in Oregon from a game store. They had it priced at $200, and it's missing the manual. But I already have a manual for it, which I'm very, very glad that I did. I'm pretty sure I bought the manual from Retro Game Trader, which is a local store. Whenever they get box games, they separate the boxes and the manuals and the cartridges, and they sell everything separately. And I knew that Sparkster was a rare game, and so they had the manual there, and I don't remember what I paid for it. It's probably, the price tag's probably still on it. It's in the closet. But they bag all their manuals and then put the price tags on the bags. So it's probably still on there, but it couldn't have been that much for me to buy it, because I didn't even have the game yet, so The only reason I would have bought the manual is if it was a really good price, and I'm really glad that I did, because this goes for like $380 complete. I paid $200 for this, and I don't think I would have paid more than like $30-40 for the manual. So I think I'm doing good on that one. And the box is in really, really nice condition, so I'm very happy to add that one to the collection. So lastly, moving on to PlayStation 2, there are a lot of games here. My legs are dying and falling asleep. Ugh. So, the majority of these are uncommon, higher end, special edition type stuff. There are a couple fillers in here as well, and these are going to be in no particular order. I just have them stacked up here, and I'm just going to pick off the top, and we're going to go through. The majority of these, as you guys will see, came from my friend John's collection that we just purchased. There are, however, a few that I had gotten before then, but like I said, most of them came from his collection. So, we have Spider-Man 3. The only reason I kept this is because it has the movie ticket in it still, and this is the movie ticket variant. So there's a version that doesn't have that. I didn't have the game either way, but I figured might as well hold on to it just because it has that ticket, and I feel like a lot of times those things are missing. Then we have Dot Hack GU Volume 3 Redemption. I think that is the last Dot Hack game that I needed from the PS2. So I think I have all of them now, including the special editions. Then we have Predator Concrete Jungle. This one's kind of funny because I actually only had this game sealed. And the reason that I had a sealed copy is because at Retro Game Trader, the store I was just talking about, sometimes they do not price sealed copies of games any more than a complete copy. And so I bought a sealed copy there for $30. And at the time, a complete copy went for $30. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I get a sealed one for the price of complete. And I was happy with that. And then, but I didn't have an opened one. So when I saw this in John's collection, I was like, oh, I'm gonna keep that one. It's, you know, a $30 game that I don't have. Well, I looked it up again. It's going for a lot more complete, and sealed was like over $100, which is crazy. And so that makes me really glad that I bought that one. Then we have Bloody Roar 4, Monster Rancher 4. That one, the front art's a little bit wavy. I don't think it's... Oh no, the back has some water damage. Either way, I'll keep it till we get an upgrade. Then we have Forever Kingdom, which is a game I had never heard of before. Then Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. It's missing the cards, of course, but what Yu-Gi-Oh! Games are not missing the cards? We have Ape Escape 2, King of Fighters Collection, the Orochi Saga, Mr. Mosquito, Shadow of Destiny, SD Superior Defender Gundam Force Showdown. Very, very cheap game, but it's not one that I see very often. I think it's like $6 complete. And then we have a sealed copy of Shin Megami Tensei Devil Summoner. This is one of those games that, like, I can still order this from some of our suppliers, which is crazy, but I haven't placed any orders yet for that kind of stuff. We have Eve of Extinction, Maximo vs. Army of Zin, Jurassic Park Operation Genesis. Very glad to finally get this game. That's one of those, like, rare PS2 games that you always would see on, like you know, list of the top 10 rarest PS2 games. I don't even think that's in the top 10 rarest PS2 games, but it's always on those lists, and so I've been looking for it for such a long time. I've never owned a copy for the PS2, so I'm really glad that I got that out of the way. Then we have Yenya Kabbalista City Skater. And stuff like that. That's a cheap game. I think this is like a $10 game, but I never see it. And that's the kind of stuff that I'm trying to add to these collections that I'm not focusing on, is stuff that you don't ever see. We have Mobile Suit Gundam Journey to Jaburo. I believe that was the last Mobile Suit Gundam game that I didn't have for PS2. Then we have Metal Slug 4 and 5. Gradius 3 and 4. Those are cool little, like, duo packs. Fatal Frame 3, The Tormented. Fatal Frame 2, Crimson Butterfly. I think one of these, was a condition upgrade. I'm not sure. I think I already switched them out. But there's those. Makai Kingdom, Chronicles of the Sacred Tome. Ape Escape Pumped and Primed, which I had never heard of. This one is really, really cool. This is Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, but it is a misprint. And I showed it in the vlog, but the whole side's cut off, the spine is shifted over onto the front. And then this is supposed to be the end, but it got a little bit of the next one in line, so it was cut. It was misaligned and got cut incorrectly, but it still got put in here and shipped out. And I don't think I have anything else like this in my collection, and I think it's really, really cool. Just a very unique, like, you know, this isn't something that you could go out and just find. You can't, I mean, you could probably search for like a misprint something on eBay, but to get this game with this misprint, this is probably the only one that exists like this. Who knows? I think it's really, really cool. Then we have Persona 3 FES. Then we have the Persona 3 in the big box. The box is kind of crunchy up here, but it is fully complete with the art book and all that. And then we have a sealed copy of Madden 2005, and the disc is loose in there. And then also a sealed copy of Ferrari Challenge. And then we have the Mana Khemia Premium box for the PS2, Japanese import. This just has a figure in it, and I was under the impression that this didn't come with the game originally, but it looks like it did. It's just this exact copy doesn't have the game. So I might try to get the Japanese version of the game just to complete this, because I wanted to keep this for the collection, but I'd prefer to have it complete. So I don't think that the game by itself is very expensive, so I'll do some research and see if I can find a game to complete that. Then we have the Mortal Kombat Deception Premium Pack. Getting down to the end here. Dragon Ball Z Trilogy. I actually had this one already, but I only had it sealed, which is really weird, so I wanted to have an opened one, so grabbed that. Then we have the Devil May Cry 5th Anniversary Collection, and I didn't have this one, but according to John, there are two different covers of this one. So there's this cover here, and then he said there's one where the cover is like all like purple or white or something like that. Something with a different cover, so it'd be cool to get both of those eventually. Then we have the Mana Khemia Alchemists of Al Revi's like big box one. I don't know if that's like a special edition or if it's just a regular version. Then we have Mark Echo's Getting Up Limited Edition. Comes in like this weird big steel book. I've had a few of these in my collection before, but not in the current collection. But it comes with a soundtrack. You get, if I could open it, you get the game, and then you get this really cool book here. I don't know if I guess you'd call it an art book, but yeah, it's like really nice high quality. I think this is a really cool limited edition because of the case. Like, it's like a steel book, but it's like a quadruple wide steel book, even though it only houses one game. But I don't know, I've always just thought this special edition was pretty cool. So I'm glad to add that to the collection. The little slipcover is kind of ripped up on the top there, but it's not really a big deal. And then we have Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2. Just didn't have it. And then we have Finding Nemo. Same with the Spider-Man. The only reason I kept this one is because it's the movie ticket variant, and it still has a movie ticket in there, which is pretty cool. And then we have Yakuza, and then MS Saga A New Dawn. And then the last two on our trip down to Arizona, I'm so glad that I grabbed this because I almost passed it up, and that is the Bully Special Edition for the PS2. The game is in there, and then inside the box here, this is fully complete, by the way. You get a Bully branded dodgeball. You get a little comic book poster type thing, and then you get a Rockstar sticker. So this is fully complete, and I've actually been looking for this for quite some time. I've only ever seen one before in person. It's at a local store here in Portland, but I think they had a crazy price on it, like $200, $250, something like that. They had this one marked at $130, and I ended up paying $105, so I was very, very happy with that. For a long time, like way back, before PS2 games were getting expensive, this was the most expensive, like, PS2 game, and it was one of the only ones that was worth over $100 at that time. I remember talking to my friend Andrew, and he's like, no PS2 games are worth over $100. And I was like, well, what about Bully and Metal Gear 3 Subsistence Limited Edition? And he's like, well, those are special editions, but for regular games at that time, nothing was over $100. The closest one was Dot Hack Quarantine. It was like 80 or 90. So that's one that I've been looking for such a long time, because I always thought, like, man, for it to be one of the only games that's over $100, I mean, it's got to be really, really rare. And that's only the second one I've ever seen in person, so I was really, really happy to pick that up. And then the last game that I have to show you guys is Mana Khemia 2 Fall of Alchemy Big Box Alchemic Art Collection is what it's called. And I've never seen this before. This is the first one of these I've ever seen. Didn't even know that it existed. So, very, very cool. This is a North American release from NIS America. Super, super cool. Don't really know what it's worth, but I've never seen it, so can't not keep it. So guys, that is going to do it for this pickup video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know it was super, super long. If you made it to the end here, we typically do like a sort of a keyword thing that I want you guys to comment down below to let me know that you guys watched the entire thing. If you skipped ahead and you're watching this and you didn't watch the whole video, don't you dare comment this. You only comment this if you watched the whole video. So, our keyword for this video is going to be... I usually look at some of the games behind the camera here and pick a word that I see. The keyword is going to be golden. I'm getting that from Golden Axe from the Genesis right there. So golden is the keyword, guys. If you comment golden somewhere down below, I will know that you watched the entire video, and special shout out to all of you who do. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I really appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys with the next one.